Hello, everybody. My name is Akilesh, and you can call me Aki. So for the last 3 years, I've been so passionate about helping coaches, especially new coaches, get paid coaching clients and start their own coaching business. Back in 2017, when I first became a certified coach, and I'm a certified trainer of neuro-linguistic programming as well. So I noticed a major problem in the coaching and training industry, and it was that most new coaches, when they first become a coach, they have a huge problem because they don't have any business experience and they don't know how to sell their services or how to market themselves in an authentic and genuine fashion. So because I worked with the coaching and training company for over 3 years, I took all that knowledge from what I learned from there, and I started to help new coaches to get paid clients and build their coaching business from scratch. So that's who I am, and that's what I stand for.
That's great. That's very impressive. So basically, you
Yeah.
took all the knowledge and experiences and you just combined them all together.
Yeah, absolutely.
Great.
Yeah.
Okay. And how did you start this career? What sparked your interest? What made you choose this path?
Yeah. Yeah, that's a great question. So like I mentioned, back in 2017 is when I took a series of coaching and training certification programs, right? So when I finished the programs, I asked the company, the boss of the company who was certifying me, hey, can you give me a job? Because I thought if I want to be successful in this area, that's probably the best thing to do. So they gave me the job and I was working there. And after 1 year and meeting a lot of hundreds of coaches and trainers from around the world, like I mentioned before, I noticed that they learn how to coach people, how to bring value, how to change lives through the coaching and training certification programs. But there was a disconnect. And the disconnect was that they don't know how to actually get the client, right? This is the reality for most new coaches, not everybody maybe, but most people. So one evening I was walking with my ex-boss, boss at the time, to the train station to go back home after work. And I told him that, his name is Sebastian. So, hey, you know what? We're doing a great job in certifying a lot of coaches and helping people, like empowering them with coaching and training knowledge, but we're not telling them how to get the clients. So don't you think it's our responsibility to share what we know, because we are a coaching and training company ourselves and we do marketing and we do selling for the coaching programs. So what if we just teach the same process and the strategy to our clients? And he said, oh, that's a great idea. And I put together a coaching program, and we had a group of 27 people in one of our programs. And at the end of the program, I did a presentation about how to convert a prospective client to a paid client. And to my surprise, 7 out of 26 people in the audience signed up for my coaching program. So that was, I would say, it almost feels like the universe wanted me to do that, because my only interest at the time was to show new coaches how they can turn their passion for helping people and coaching people into a career path and actually build a business around it. So yeah, that's how it started. That's the launch.
That's great. So basically, the main idea
Yeah.
is that they actually gain profit and while helping the other people, while helping the trainers and coaches, building a
Yeah, I
business
mean,
out of it. You said.
yeah, so that's what I do. And what I'm trying to say is that a lot of coaches, right, they become coaches because they might be working in a corporate job at the moment for 10, 15 years, and they might be making good income or having a good position in the company, but inside them, there is a feeling that they want to do more and they want to be more, help people. And many of the people who actually come into a certification program as a coach or a trainer, they actually would like to make an income doing what they love and gradually replace their salary with the job with the income from their coaching. So I am so passionate about that area because I believe strongly that we coaches are change agents. We are, we're kind of like torch bearers who are changing lives and making the world a better place. So like I said, I took it on a mission, and I'm so passionate about helping new coaches to get paid clients and help them with the business side of coaching.
Mm-hmm. So would you say that is the concept of your specialization?
Yeah, so it's this way. So one thing that I notice is that if you look at any business, right? If you just simplify it at the very core, you would say there are two elements. One element is that you do the marketing and the selling, and the other element is the actual service delivery. So if you apply that to a coaching, coaching business, most coaches are very good with the second part. They know how to deliver the services. They know how to coach people and how to, create value. But a lot of people struggle with the first part, which is the business part and the marketing and the sales part. So I noticed there are three main things that everyone who is and listening to us right now needs to know. This is the concept of what I do. So the number one thing is that the most important thing is results. So whatever type of coaching you're doing, whether that is, parent coaching or coaching for teenagers or relationship coaching, spiritual coaching, whatever it is, it's all about result, right? So number one thing is to be very clear about what are the results that you can achieve for your audience, for your clients as a coach or trainer. And the second thing is the internal obstacles. So what I mean by that is it's very surprising to know that the number one thing that stops people is not knowledge. It's not strategy. It's what's going on inside their head, their inner voice. It's things like, oh, I can't do this because I'm not good enough. I'm too old to do this. I'm too young to do this. So whether that is in the business side of coaching or actually doing the service delivery, we have to deal with the internal dialogue of our audience. So understanding that and being able to show our audience how we can actually help them overcome all those internal problems is key, because without changing limiting beliefs and without empowering our audience with new beliefs that will serve them, it's impossible for them to achieve any kind of result. You might have the greatest strategy in the world, but if your internal dialogue is, I'm not good enough, I'm not talented enough, I can't do this, I'm too old, then nothing is going to happen. And coming to the final part is the external objections. So those are things that are outside our control of influence, meaning things like, I can't do this because my wife doesn't allow me, or my husband doesn't allow me, or my boss is too, boss is too picky, or it's COVID, or government policy, whatever. So this is the concept of what I do, and I show new coaches how they can take these three elements, the results, internal obstacles and external obstacles, and apply that into their marketing and sales and actual service delivery, so that it is a wholesome approach. And that they can create most value possible. Hope that makes sense.
Yes, it does. It does very much. Thank you so much for elaborating.
You're welcome.
So I just want to ask you, when did you decide that you were able to show in public and give the world and your audience what you have learned?
Yeah, this is a very good question, because it reminds me of the time almost 2 years ago now, where when I initially had this idea of starting my own coaching business. Back in those days, I was working with a company, but right now I'm on my own. So when I first had this idea, I wanted to test it out, and I thought, okay, I have this strategy, I know this knowledge, but I want to see if I can help someone else get the result, because like I said, we are in the results business, right? So I put together a group coaching program for free, and I invited 7 people, 7 of my existing clients, to come and join me for the program. And I told them, hey guys, I'll do this program for free, but if you get results, you give me a testimonial. So they said, all right, we'll do that. So this program was basically about showing new coaches how to convert a prospect into a paid coaching client at the end of a free coaching session. Meaning a lot of us coaches and trainers, we are told that in the beginning we have to do free coaching sessions, and when you give value at the end, you can pitch your offer. But the problem is a lot of people don't know how to do this, and there is a process to do this as well. I didn't know it. It took me more than 2 years to actually find it out. So I did this coaching program, and 2 out of 7 people they got results before we finished the actual program. And it was proof. It was so awesome at the time to know that other people also started to get results with this. And if you actually go to my website, there are some testimonials that explain what I'm just sharing with you here. So I thought, okay, maybe this is the time now. And that's when I decided to go public. And I thought, this is the time to actually help a lot more people. And since then, I've been blessed to help hundreds of coaches from around the world to do the same thing, get paid coaching clients and build their coaching business from scratch.
Mm-hmm. What are the points that make you special in the specialization? What do you think is the gift you have?
Yeah, so this is a very interesting question again. So the first thing is that because I worked in the coaching and training industry, I know behind the scenes of how it actually works because I've got the real life experience. So what I've done is I've taken all the struggles I had, all the mistakes I made, all the success I had, and I use real life scenarios to actually help new clients. And there are many people who do what I do, helping new coaches get clients and build their business, but not all of them are actually coaches themselves. And not all of them work with the coaching or training company. Not all of them know behind the scenes of how this industry actually operates. So because I have that knowledge and experience, I feel that I have an advantage, and it always helps me to give practical knowledge. You can share a lot of things with people, but if you can't put it into action, and if you can't simplify it to make it easy to implement for the clients, it's not going to work, right? So that's one thing that makes me special. And the other thing is that in the beginning, when I first started out, like I mentioned before, I did not have any sales experience or any kind of business experience because nobody in my family has done a business before. So I found that selling, like sales was a very challenging thing for a lot of coaches because many people believe it's difficult. You have to push people, you have to manipulate people to buy your program. And I believe that selling need not be difficult. Over 2 years, 2 years ago, I found that there can be an easy and authentic process to actually sell and offer your programs. And this is one of the key things that I always share with my clients, and I teach them that, change your perspective about selling. Think of selling as helping, and here is my process, and you can just use this process. So I would say those are the two things that make me unique.
That's great. That's very creative and innovative at the same time.
Yeah, thank you.
Regarding selling, if you would, or marketing for yourself, do you have a plan, or what's your strategy in regards to that area?
Yeah, so right now in marketing, I'm not really spending any money on advertising. So I'm not doing any paid advertisements, and the reason is because my market is very niche. So I'm not going after all the coaches. I'm focusing mainly on certified coaches, either ICF certified, NLP, or any other kind of certification. So what I've done is I'm actually building in the process of building a tribe of coaches and trainers, and I have a Facebook group which has about 547 members till date, and it's actually growing. So every day we have anywhere between 3 to 4 people joining the group. So that is my major area where I do the marketing. And I provide value. So most of the time, how people reach out to me is they have seen my posts, they've got value from the group or from a LinkedIn or from the participation that I do with other groups on Facebook. There are many groups, right? And I also have sales funnels and all that. That's the technical side of marketing. I don't want to go there because I don't want to make this a technical conversation, right? So that is also one thing that I do. So yeah, to make it very simple, it's mainly from my Facebook group and my Facebook profile. And like I said, because I know my niche, I've actually grown an audience of people who are perfect for the kind of work that I do. Exactly. Like you don't have to go after everybody. You have to know who your ideal client is and then build a tribe, build an audience. So that's what I've done, and that's what I'm continuing doing and growing that audience.
All right. And the last question I have for you is, what's the most important advice that you would give to other trainers?
Yeah, this is a very important question. I think probably we should have talked about this in the first question. So I would suggest mainly two things. Yeah. So the first thing is that over the last, I mean, coaching has become a huge market, especially in the last 10 years. So if you initially, like if you started out, like one of my mentors, he is a coach. He's actually very famous in this area. He has over 20 years of experience. So if you started out like 20 years ago, there wouldn't be much competition. But today, it's a very competitive market. So the first advice that I have is do not try to compete with other trainers or other coaches. And the reason I say this is because if you are competing for the same people and you're doing the same thing, you're basically targeting the same audience, and the audience are going to look at who is the cheapest one and then go for them. So if you compete based on the price, it's a race to the bottom. And it's not sustainable to do any business, whether it's coaching business or training business, not sustainable to do any business. So my tip, number one tip is that find out your own niche market and find your own framework of delivering results. So what I mean by that is, like I said, there are many people who do what I do, helping new coaches get clients, but not everyone has my framework. Not everyone has my process, right? And other coaches have their own process. So what I realized after taking lots of courses and coaching and all that in the area of marketing, there could be many people who do what you do, but your framework can set you apart from other people. So your process can set you apart from other coaches or other trainers. So the answer to your third question, let me just recap that. The concept of my specialization, I talked about two sides, right? The marketing side and the service delivery. And I talked about three things: results, internal obstacles, and external. So I guess you may not have heard about that before because that's my framework, right? That's what I formulated. So whatever type of coaching or training you're doing, the people listening to us, I would highly recommend you develop your own process, your own framework, so that you become unique and you're not competing with everybody else in the market. Okay. So second thing, that's the first thing. And the second thing that I would highly recommend is one of the problems that I had when I was in school was teachers it's actually like they would like splash out a lot of information but you don't know how to implement it in your life, right? Yes. Like that's why I was a terrible student in school. I don't know about you, but I was so terrible back in school because I did not know how to implement all that information. So I find the same thing as a problem in a lot of coaches and trainers, that they have a lot of knowledge that they teach people, but when their audience leave their training or their coaching program, they go back to their old life and they don't know how to implement what you taught them. So I believe that it doesn't matter how much knowledge you have, if you cannot show your audience, kind of handhold your audience and show them how to implement it step by step and actually produce results, then I mean, you can't really call yourself a trainer or a coach, because for me, a coach and a trainer is a capability builder. And you can only build people's capability if you can show them how to implement what you're teaching them. So that's the second thing. Okay. So what are we teaching? Make it easy to implement. So the first thing would be to create your own framework, separate yourself from the other people, other coaches and trainers in the market, so that you don't compete with others anymore. And the second thing is to make it easy to implement. So I hope this helps.
It does. It's very true, and it's very applicable as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you very much for your time, and it was
You're welcome.
a pleasure to have you. And
absolutely. Thank you so much.
Thank you. We also look forward to having to do business with you in the future.
Absolutely. I would love that. So sometime later we can have a chat about that.
Thank you. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you so much.